Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Backcast, where I'm up here talking with Radon Cuddy about Batman, the animated series, and this week we talk about the man who killed Batman. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm
And was it
uh
and was it you?
yeah, I'm kind of bummed out, dude. This is our last episode. It's Christmas Eve. Like Batman's dead. How are we supposed to do the podcast from now on?
So I guess Batman really does smell
Yeah.
if he's
Smells
dead.
like dead carcass of bat.
But yes, as I said, this week's episode is The Man Who Killed Batman. It is the 51st episode produced, and it was the 49th episode to air, having it air February 1st, 1993. So yeah, so this is like we're getting more and more episodes into the new year. And is oh yeah, so we got that. I had the show's own dynamic duo working on this episode. It's produced by Bruce Timm and written by Paul Dini. So if you like this episode, that'd be a fairly good reason why.
Mhm.
I guess we'll find out at the end of this episode if that's the case or not. But yes, this episode started off like kind of in a rainy Gotham, and I always thought of Gotham, especially like the Tim Burton Gotham, as it always I imagine it always felt like it probably just finished raining like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
That's the vibe I always got from Gotham City. No, like not rainy, but just having just rained.
freshly damp.
That feeling just after it's done, it's still just kind of like you don't get the nice cleansing of the water. You just get the aftermath of the fucking rain. And it's all fucking gross and shitty. Everything's just kind of puddly and wet and musty and freaking gross. Get the
And
like all the
humidity like
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. And that's why that's how I always felt Gotham is. So so when this episode started off and it has what was find out his name is Sid like running through Gotham like he's being chased or something like that, and I'm like that doesn't feel like Gotham right there.
Yeah.
Like the rain, this feels like Seattle.
I'm running in the rain. Yeah, this
Yes,
is Sid Debris, who is running through the streets trying to make his way to Rupert Thorne's house where he's pounding on the door. And he's like, I need to see Mr. Thorne. And Thorne's like, all right, fine, let him in. And he invites him into his warm fireplace. I think he had a polar bear rug
yeah.
by the
Yeah. So I was
fireplace.
thinking that's one of my notes too. Is that a polar bear rug? So
Yeah.
do you think he like dealt with Mr. Freeze to get that, or stole it from Mr. Freeze, or do you think Mr. Freeze is like pissed at him, and be like, "Fuck you, you got a fucking polar bear rug. We're supposed to be alive, you dick."
No, I thought that he just like he saw the ending to Lost, got pissed off, and
Oh
decided to
fuck
kill the
no.
nearest polar bear.
Fuck that show, man. Yeah, were you listening to the
Yes.
yeah, this week, yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, I think I got to the end of like maybe season three, and I was like, oh, this show is not good. This show fucking causes more questions than they're giving us answers, and like the way I don't like, so fuck this goddamn show.
Yeah.
It's like it produced, written, shot well, everything. I'm just fuck that goddamn show.
Do you know who is a pretty big Lost fan?
Who's like,
Mark Hamill.
no, we can let slide. Like I said, it's like not saying like it's a bad show. So like I see why people like it, but I
Oh no,
just
he hated the ending. In fact, he
oh
put
that
like an Easter egg in one of the Arkham games, like, why did it all end inside a church?
yeah, I did make it that far. Like how many seasons was like in that show? Do you know?
I want to say 6 or 7.
Oh yeah, it's like oh fuck, goddamn show, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was listening to that like early today, like after work, like on the way home.
I didn't understand the pain of like because I had some friends who watched Lost. It was never my thing, but I didn't understand their pain until the end of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, respect. Like I know my brother in trauma.
Yeah, I just had a really good time with just shit in the bed at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, as
and,
we were
and,
saying,
and,
go ahead.
and it was even though like I find out that like he kind of got sent to Thorne's house, like it's pretty assumptive to show up to his house like that late at night to be and like not be like be buried in his backyard like within the hour.
Yeah. Well, jury's out if that might happen, considering the direction of this episode. What? Rupert Thorne seems like a reasonable man. Like,
yeah. That's how you get to the top of like a mafia family is being totally reasonable and like flat tempered and easygoing. All the trademark traits of a fucking like a head of a mafia family. Yeah.
yeah. But one
Oh
thing I
yeah.
wanted to say about Sidney Debris before we kind of dive too deep into the meat of the episode is Sidney is this kind of like short, like nerdy looking like kind of gangster. He's voiced by Frewer, I believe is his name, or pronounced that way. He's a Canadian actor, and as you pointed out, Max Headroom.
Yeah. For any like Canadian listeners, yeah, if you know like the '80s, like no Max Headroom, like like the little TV phenomenon that like that spawned it, yeah, the TV show. Then he was like the like the face like and head like a model for that, and I think they kind of use that as a model for like into the Back to the Future when we went into like the soda shop or whatever, and had like the same sort of 3D face come up and stuff. And that's right. That was what they're kind of aping on in that show. Yeah. So
And Matt Fur is doing kind of like a Woody Allen kind of vibe to his character. Like, it's like, honestly, Mr. Thorne, I never meant to do it. You know, it was all an accident. And Thorne's like, oh, yes, what are they calling you? Oh, that's right. The man who killed Batman. Well,
dun,
why
dun,
don't you why don't you
dun.
pull up a chair and tell me exactly how everything went down?
Pretty much like how could a dumbass like you fucking kill Batman, man? Like what's going on?
Well, we'll see who the dumbass is by the end of this episode, that's for sure.
We'll double dumbass on you. No.
I love that line. Yeah, so we start with a bit of a flashback. Well, not much of a flashback, so much as like 24 to 48 hours earlier, where Sid and these gangsters are at the Gotham docks, and we see Chekhov's propane tank, uh, which is like big and standing right there as they're getting ready for this drug run. And Sid's like, "What do you guys want me to do? Like, what's my job?" And the gangster who's hired him, Eddie G, is like, "Well, you're the lookout." So, did you recognize Eddie G's voice actor?
I think I like when I was looking online, I did catch a different. Was it the Doctor?
He's a doctor, not a
Uh,
gangster. It's the doctor from Voyager, Robert
yeah,
Picardo.
yeah. I think I'm on like season 5 of that right now of the run through that of that series. I think I want to say right now, which I'm like going to realize. I think that's my probably favorite Trek series. I think because I think I seem to be going to back to that the most. I think that and then DS9.
This is why you won't why you won't let me make Janeway jokes whenever Red Claw appears. I will not speak of this heresy. She mastered the Delta Quadrant.
Is that like that friggin' meme from like the James Gandolfini the gangster show or whatever the Sopranos? He's like yelling. He's like, "Janeway's our hero in this house."
Hey, she had to put up with Neelix every episode. That takes willpower.
Or fucking that stuck up Tuvok. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that she tried to kill Tuvix. Two birds, one stone.
Yeah, oh fucking Tuvok, man.
So yeah, Eddie G says to Sydney, like, yeah, you do this job and you could become a real hot shot. Kind of,
It's it. because didn't he like go into this like flashback saying he was like, hey, I was trying to get into being a bigger gangster than what I am, sort of
Hmm.
thing, or whatever. And then like this is my way in, sort of thing.
Yeah, this is his
So like,
ticket to
yes, yeah,
fame.
yeah. So like, yeah, so he got into that, yeah, and they went up to the wall and behind up, and he just kind of kept on walking and kind of did the trip and fell. And I was like thinking, like this is like a very poor vetting system for like for this gang for this mafia gang. I think initially thinking that, then like right away I was like, oh, this is why, yeah, because I could tell he's like, you can tell he's like, yeah, you look out, go up there and look out for Batman, and then when he sends him up, he's like, yeah, like you know, he can stall Batman for a while. We get away with this. I'm like, well, if this guy sucks as bad as he does, like Batman should quote heavy quotes here, like take easy care of him and like be on them like right away.
Hmm.
But of course, like they once they get into it, yeah, like he's like kind of has his flashlight and doodle because I think right before they sent him up the ladder, they were saying like, hey, like if you do go to this job, we'll give you a good like mafia name, and it's like he's on one of the billboards. He's like, we'll call you Sid the Squid. That's it. So
Hmm.
when he's just like sitting up on top of the roof, he has his flashlight out and doing a little hand mime squid on the wall or sort of thing.
Do
And
you
like,
recognize the name Sid the Squid, by the way?
I feel like I should, but I don't.
Back in Robin's Reckoning, when they were looking at Tony Zuko's aliases, one of them was Sid the Squid, which makes me think Eddie G is like, yeah, we'll call you Sid the Squid. And hopefully Tony Zuko will find out, hunt you down, and kill you. Yeah, they're completely red hooding this guy. Like if you any of you guys have read Batman the Killing Joke, you know that that doesn't end well. But the ends more positively for Sid than that character because he is up on the roof and he's yeah, as you mentioned, like doing the flashlight, hand puppet thing. And all of a sudden a grappling hook lands in the middle of the light. He's like, "Well, what the heck is that?" And it's Batman gliding down. He's like,
He's like, ah, shit.
yeah. And he's like, "I swear it's not what it looks like." The Batman's like, "Looks like a drug run to me." He's like, "No, no, it's a drug run." Oh, dang it.
And he's like, I don't do drugs. And he's like, fuck drugs. That's how we do in say in Gotham, basically.
So good old fashioned adrenaline shots for me. But the funny thing is when like Sidney like is like fight he's not trying to attack Batman, but just by like physical happenstance, he's like accidentally tackling him. And like the gangsters below are like, oh, Sid the Squid is fighting the bat.
Yeah, it
And
says, yeah, so they have like a view of them up there and you just see the
mhm.
shots of two of them and it looks like he's having like yeah, having his way with Batman sort of thing or whatever. And he's like up there, he's just kind of like doing yeah, just like fumbling over himself and able to fucking get that. And then he like goes back and like falls over the edge at one point, and then Batman runs, sees that runs up, tries to get him, and he's like hang on the edge. He's like, "Oh, help me!" And then he's like, Batman's reaching for him, and he's fucking just being a dumbass and just not thinking of helping out Batman to carry him up, and the building's crumbling along and crumbling below his feet, and a brick hits the aforementioned propane tank there. Fagin hits it and then it explodes and then more of the wall friggin' breaks and Batman somehow friggin' falls over and goes up and he grabs the hood slash uh,
Cowl.
ta- yes, yeah, the cowl and cape is what I was trying to say. And
Mhm.
what the fuck I couldn't think of the word cape. Anyway, yeah. So and then he's like, yeah, left holding the cape and cowl, and it looks like Batman exploded in the propane explosion, and it looks like he was in fact the man who killed Batman by the looks of it.
Yeah, because Sid comes down carrying the cape and cowl. He's like, it was an accident, I swear. And they're like, Sid the Squid just off the bat. Like, oh my gosh. So yeah, as he's continuing to, like tell this story to Rupert Thorne, he's like, like I always wanted to be like a big shot gangster, and now I finally had my chance. So there's this
Yeah,
big
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Cue the Goodfellas like opening thing. I always wanted to be a gangster.
well, and even like they have this scene that like you and I are both Simpsons fans, so it looks like the Stone Cutters like meeting like down this long table with him at the head, like he's the chosen one. Like
Who makes every Oscar night? We
we do,
do.
we do.
We do. I'm so pissed that we lost OLN and we don't air Simpsons anymore because like that was like in the block. I think we aired from like season 6 to like season 10, and it was
Yeah.
like it was in there. So I finally got to watch that at work a few times.
You
So I
got
was there. So I
paid
was
to watch it.
yeah, yeah, 100%. And like once I knew that episode was coming up, so if I wasn't like timing something out on the list or something like that, I was fucking watching that part.
Yeah, I love that's one of my favorite bits. Especially I'm just picturing these thugs like, remove the stone of Shane from Sid the Squid. Attach the stone of Trump.
Who's
Yeah,
the Steve Gutenberg? A star we do.
I just learned because I was like the other day I was like, where has Steve Gutenberg been all this time? Apparently he's in one of the Sharknado sequels. I was like, oh, good for him. He's still getting
Or
some
yeah, he's doing something at least, yeah. So
he's getting some jobs. That's a good part. Yeah. Gutenberg for him.
I get
I'll see myself out.
it.
But yeah, Sid's happy. He's got this big smile on his face with like Batman's cape and cowl, like, hanging over this like back of his chair. And the thugs are like cheering for him, saying, like, here's to Sid the Squid, the guy who killed Batman, the toughest guy in Gotham. Across the bar is Macho Man Randy Savage, who's like arm wrestling with this
Ooh,
dude. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. He's he grabs Sid by the neck and he's like, you want to step into a Slim Jim? Because he's like, if I take down you, then I'll be the toughest guy in Gotham.
If I take down the toughest guy in Gotham, yeah, I'll be the toughest guy in Gotham. Dig it?
And if everybody's the toughest guy, no one's the toughest guy.
The cream rises to Gotham's top.
So yeah, he's this big bar fight
He
starts.
was on all the cocaine in those promos.
Oh yeah. Like
And
he was his own cartel. Like
yeah, and the one like I always feel kind of bad, but you can tell he's just like going through his promo. You can tell that the coke just starts to peak. He's just like, "Whoa, freaked out," and just he's just fucking gone for a second. Then but he's a professional and just gets right back into it. But you can tell for a second he's just fucking peaking. And he's just
he's a
freaking the fuck out
professional
for
cokehead.
well, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So he's like, but he like, so he catches these still on like live TV or whatever the fuck. So then he just gets right back into it. But you can tell for a second he's just, yeah, like his heart's about to fucking explode.
Oh yeah.
That's how much fucking coke he's on.
I would be very curious to know what like his organs look like in
Oh,
that
they're
coroner's
fucking
office.
like unfortunately they're fucking probably toast, man. Because
Yeah. Vince McMahon's like, burn the documents. But yeah, they have this big bar fight, and did you catch the bit with the bartender? Because that made me laugh. When
yeah,
like
yeah,
they're
he's probably like, yeah, this is like the third fight like this hour, so just like, what the fuck, and he just like pushes the popcorn over like a thing like onto somebody after like they got knocked down on the floor.
it smashes on his head, and the guy's just
Yeah.
got like this big smile on his face, like, that's right. You guys keep breaking my crap.
So he's like, yeah, like the fight broke out, and thankfully the police got there right away. So like, so they're able to fucking break that up, and he's like in that's when he's like in jail.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then and that's where you find out like that Harley Quinzel was there to fucking bail him out. But
Well,
I don't think.
but
Sorry, go
before
ahead.
the Harley Quinn thing, I think it's just important that we note Bullock is the one to tell the cops to break the bad news to
Well, yeah,
Montoya.
yeah. You ended the Montoya, yeah, and he tells her that like it sounds like Batman's dead, so go tell everybody, and they're both yeah, like in Montoya, I kind of get it, but I always got the impression that Bullock didn't fucking
Yeah.
care for Batman.
Which,
I would
yeah.
have expected that from Gordon, like
hmm
100%, but definitely not Bullock. I don't think.
Well, and that's the thing that I was gonna ask you is because like he mentions like the commissioner's depressed, so like do you mind like talking to him? And even Bullock looks sad. Bullock looks sad that Batman is dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right. So
Yeah.
like that's where I'm like, okay, how are we playing this here? Because like, I mean, obviously you're not going to kill Batman on a cartoon. I mean, we'll roll with this idea for the time as it is,
but
but
but like if anything, like yeah, he should have said that like if her to go tell the rest of the precinct, and like he should go talk to Gordon at least,
yeah.
even if he doesn't like Bat or but he's showing here that he does care for Batman. So yeah, like so he should have been the one talking to Gordon because he's like I think yeah, I always felt that he was like the closest with Gordon out of everybody there. I thought
Of the on the force, yeah, I would
yeah.
think so.
So yeah. So like yeah, so that scene felt that part at least felt a little off to me. That
Yeah.
he was sort of feeling so sad, and he was like, "Yeah, you go talk to Gordon instead of me."
Which made me wonder if Bullock is in on it. Like because that's the thing. I'm wondering like how much of this is like the police
Yeah.
just rolling with it and how
No,
much
no,
of it is
that,
like actually
he's not going to tell the police about this. Like, like
dude, what if Gordon had a heart attack? Like Batman's dead. Gordon has a heart attack and dies. Like,
I,
oh, I probably
I
should have told him.
I don't think that would I don't think that would give him a heart attack. I don't think.
Well, and Batman's faked his death. It
If,
made Alfred have a heart attack. Remember
well,
Dark Knight
how many times
Returns?
he's just like showed up in his like office behind him, like one of those times, like 100% sure get him a heart attack.
Yeah,
And not like hearing that he's dead. He'd be like yeah, as I said, he'd be like 100% upset that he's dead, but
yeah.
like he'd be sad and shit. But yeah, he's like, I don't think he's having a heart attack over it.
No, he's just gonna drink himself to death.
Yeah, maybe, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, but definitely not a heart attack from like if I'm
yeah.
hearing about
He's gonna find. He's gonna find Gordon at the nearest bar, lying in a pool of whiskey.
it. He's like, what the fuck? It was like, now we just got Bullock, or like, what the fuck?
I've only been dead 20 minutes. Like,
Fuck that guy.
but yeah, as you mentioned, yeah, they want to. So the Bullock says there's been word out that there's been a homicide victim and it's Batman. I would like to remind you guys, obviously there's no body. So again, that's why I'm wondered, like, are they just rolling with it? But we'll let that slide for now, because Bullock's like, and it supposedly was done by this guy, Sid the Squid, and so he's looking through the jail cell, lock up, and he's like, any of you guys know a Sid the Squid? And Sid's like, squatting in the back, like shaking like a leaf. And that's when Harleen Quinzel comes in. She actually calls herself Harleen Quinzel, like, like attorney at law or something. But presumably she's been locked up before, right?
Yeah, like yeah, so like yeah, so how would yeah, so how would Bullock not know that was her? Like
Yeah. Like
like
presumably
like
they wash the makeup off when she goes in. Like,
but yeah, like yeah, with like the voice and like the name, like yeah, Bullock should know that it was her. So like so
yeah,
you should be able to like get in there and be like yeah, like and I imagine you have to do it more than just be like, hey, I'm my lawyer, yeah, like I'm bailing this person out, right? Or like
yeah,
or so like you have to like I think or I'm not sure how that works, but like I'm pretty sure you'd have to prove that you're a lawyer, I guess. But I guess you could
yeah.
just like fake it, like get fake papers in Gotham pretty easily, I imagine. So
In Gotham, it's probably just as easy as slipping like a, $100 bill under the table.
yeah,
Yeah, she takes him out in the car and he's like who would have let me out of jail? Like even my own mother doesn't talk to me. and she's putting up makeup on, and he's like, "You put on the makeup real thick, don't you, lady?" And she's like, "Yeah, my boss wants me to always make sure I'm wearing a smile." And that's when we see it's Harley Quinn, of course. Sid sitting there like putting two and two together and realizing where he's going.
Yeah. And Murphy, so yeah, I'd be fucking scared shitless going to see being driven to the Joker.
Yeah. I also really liked the animation style when they showed the Joker's like introduction here. Because like his face is half in shadow and like there's an extra menace to him, which I think given the circumstances of like supposedly Batman is dead, I think just ups the threat factor here. Like I've
Yeah.
always looked at the Joker like kind of like a snake. Like he's cool to look at, but if you get too close, that's when he strikes. And he's got that charm to him, but he's just as deadly. And yeah, he's like, I just wanted to shake the hand of the man who killed Batman. And you can see on his face, like he's very much hiding his anger. And when he goes to shake his hand, Sidney sees like he's got like a giant spike in his palm. Like, oh, sorry, force of habit. And so,
Yeah, I was expecting it to be like a electric buzzer instead of the spike,
oh my
admittedly.
gosh, we didn't even mention this is the first introduction of Bud and Lou, the hyenas.
All right. Is it the first time?
I think so, at least in the production lineup.
I could have sworn I saw like Harley with hyenas before, but I guess not.
Yeah. As far as I can recall, like in our like rewatch. But yeah, and the reason I make mention of it is because he says, there's only one problem with your whole story of killing Batman, Sid. That's because there's no body to be shown. So even the Joker is putting more thought into this than the cops, which I find funny. But he's like, there's only one way we can prove that Batman's, gone Bactus Rictus Corpus or whatever he says. And one of his goons is like, "How are we gonna do that, boss?" He's like, "Why, we're going to set a trap, Murph. And one more thing, don't ask stupid questions." And he sicks the hyenas on him. Like I thought that guy was actually dead.
Yeah, no, that's what I was doing. I was like, did Joker just feed him to the hyenas, and then like the next scene, he's like, yeah, good question, mark, or whatever the fuck his name was. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that was that same guy. So okay,
Well,
good.
even Harley's like, "I'm gonna go get the mop." I'm like, what other than blood, what is she mopping up? Like,
General fluids, I imagine, probably.
ugh. I don't want to know. Yeah, so Joker he takes the gang and Sid with him to this diamond exchange, and that's when he starts like like making a big show of it and says like let's like get everything out of the vault, and meanwhile like the boys will hold off the cops just long enough if Batman's is still alive to come knocking. So Sid's just there, like just realizing like he has no choice. And sure enough, they get surrounded by the cops, and Joker, is letting them, have fun, like taking the jewels out. Harley is literally covered in jewels. Like she looks like she looks like she's crawled out of Smog's cave.
Or
And
like Scrooge McDuck's like
yeah,
big
yeah,
vault building or whatever the fuck that is. Yeah,
yeah. And so Joker's like, he should be here, shouldn't
he's
he?
never this late.
Yeah, he's never this late. And like it slowly dawns on him that Batman's not coming. And like you see like Mark Hamill does a really good job in this. Like I mean, it's Mark Hamill as the Joker any day is really good, but
Yeah.
in this like just the range he has, because like you feel the sadness in his voice. He's like, I don't understand it. It's the same old routine. I do a caper, he shows up, he throws me an Arkham, I break out, and rinse and repeat or something along those lines. It's like, but without Batman, crime has no punchline. And Harley is like, that's okay, at least we got the jewels. I love this like little glimpse of like the Joker's fury. He's like, put them back, Harley. And she's like, but yeah, yeah, just kidding. And he grabs her. He's like, put them back. Like, okay. Like she's like terrified.
Yeah, I think
Like, oh my
it doesn't he like throw or two or something like that. I
yeah.
think maybe.
I'm kind of surprised. Like, I don't know like what the censor's rules were, but like I mean, they're not
Yeah,
married, but like
yeah
just the
the
violence against women in this is like crazy.
yeah that's really finicky at times, like what they will and censor. So
Yeah, like well,
because
especially
trust
like
me, trust me, like some stuff you're like this one will this will get through, but other shit won't, or
yeah,
and vice versa and stuff. So
100%.
sometimes you have no idea what the fuck what the fuck they're thinking.
I mean, it does really like, kind of establish their, like status quo of the relationship with Harley and Joker, but at the same time it's like, okay, so how dark are we gonna go with this? Because like there's some scenes in other episodes where it's like, I don't know, man, like it's kind of like scarring. Like, but yeah,
Yeah,
we
this is
have
definitely not the presidents who want to be sat with some kids sometimes. Yeah.
yeah. Like the point of a kid watching a cartoon is to escape real life, guys. Like, Daddy reminds me of the Joker. So we have them realizing like Batman's not going to show up, and so Joker, I think he throws like some like not hopefully non-lethal laughing gas at the cops, considering that Batman's not showing up.
Yeah, that's
Um,
I think that's where we cut back to like the voiceover. He's like, Joker's throw out the laughing gas to get us out in time, and
mhm.
we're like, yeah, back in like Rupert's office or whatever there.
Yeah, so that's there he says like like oh so like you've been gone from pinching pennies to rubbing elbows with the Joker. And he's like, like looks like you've made quite a, climb up the ladder in such a short amount of time. It's like he said he's a hostage. Like I don't know where you're getting this. Well, I mean, we'll get there. Like we're just like I don't know what you're reading into this, Rupert. Like
I know, like I think my note with Rupert, like I think it was after like the little outburst like later on in the episode, but like he's like yeah, like being like as I said earlier in the episode that he's like like that mob boss. He should like be better at reading people, so he should be able to tell that he's like telling the truth instead of like doing a like a usual suspects like ruse I'm not Kaiser Sose but I really am sort of thing. He's like, no, seriously, I'm not Kaiser Sose, man. Like look at me, like really I'm a fucking dumbass. Like like I like listen to me talk for 5 minutes, man. You know I'm an idiot. I can't do shit. Do you think I can really like I can kill Batman? How long have you been trying to kill Batman for? You think I did like within like 5 minutes? Like, come on, like seriously.
it's amazing, just like the way he's like he's buying into this story, but for all the wrong reasons. Like it's just, but yeah, well,
He's like he's believing the hype around the story instead of actually the guy who's like telling them to you. He's like I don't care. Like I've already decided that you did it, so like doesn't matter what you
yeah.
say.
Yeah. So then we have Sid being taken to the Ace Chemical Factory, which you Batman fans will recall is where supposedly Joker fell into the vat of acid and became the Joker as he were. And so he's there to have a funeral ceremony for Batman. And I love the he has like an open coffin with like the cowl there with like a kick me sign like right in the middle of it. Like it's so childish but so him. Like I love and yeah, he's like I also love like while he's doing this speech, I wrote it down, but like there's organ music like going on in the background, and I'm sure it's just there to add for the scene, but I also in my head canon think that the Joker just kidnaps somebody and has them playing an organ in the background, like just true to him. So I have the Joker's eulogy, and I want to also make mention this is one of Mark Hamill's favorite scenes, like or favorite line readings of the Joker, and he made mention of it in the introduction of the book, Joker, A Visual History of the Clown Prince of Crime. So it goes as follows, and I'll do my best impression of the artist, as it were. Dear friends, today is the day that the clown cried. And he cries not for the passing of one man, but for the death of a dream. The dream that we would some day taste the ultimate victory over his hated enemy. For it was the Batman who made me the happy soul I am today. How I agonized over the perfect way to thank him for that. Perhaps with a cyanide pie in the face, or an exploding whoopee cushion playfully planted in the Batmobile. And all the while that this is happening, I'll get back to the speech in a second. All the while this is happening, Harley Quinn is like bawling her eyes out and like blowing her like nose into a handkerchief. And Sid's just kind of looking like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, it's like he looks like you know, like in Jurassic Park where they say like, you know, like with the T-Rex, like don't move. His vision is based on movement. Like he's more or less like I can't move. I can't say anything. I can't do like I just have to wait. Like, but I digress. So he says, but those dreams were dashed by the wheezy little gunsel sitting here in our midst. This coward insignificantly probably got lucky when Batman slipped on the slime trail this loser left behind him. This mound of diseased hyena filth who's not fit to lick the dirt from my spats. But I digress. The time for sorrow has passed. It's time to look to a future filled with smiles. And I'll be smiling again just as soon as we take that man there, slap him in that box there, and roll him into that vat of acid there. So, like, Joker's livid, not because Batman's dead, but because he didn't get the chance to kill him.
Which I feel totally tracks. So
Oh, it's 100% to his character. Yeah. And I love that he's like just also like playing with his food here. Like he's put on this whole show and he's gonna completely like enjoy himself with it. But yeah, he's mourning in his own way at the idea of Batman being gone. And yeah, but at the same time, it's like, well, that's not gonna stop me. I'm still gonna kill people. Like,
I
but it's
gotta
just gonna
kill
be easier.
somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Sid's like, wait, what? And they like grab him, slam him into the coffin, and like seal it shut. And they have him on a conveyor belt as Harley Quinn is playing Amazing Grace on the kazoo. And by the way, that's actually Arlene Sorkin playing the kazoo in the thing.
Yeah, I was reading the notes on
Yeah.
going again into this so that she was able to play it like in one take
Yeah.
because I guess some of the crew were starting laughing through it, and once she was finished, everyone else just burst out laughing and stuff, and like they knew if they like tried it again, like they probably wouldn't be able to get through it. So
I mean, how can you not? Like, if you guys have ever heard like what a kazoo sounds like it's the furthest thing from musical dignity. And the funny thing is when they're like watching the acid go in and like Sid's pounding on the inside of this coffin,
yeah,
Joker.
like he knows his acid, so like it cuts to him inside. He starts pushing on the outside to be like, hey, that's good. Like if you break that, break that one, the acid's going to get to you faster.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to
Yeah,
die.
yeah, but don't push on you. That's going to kill you faster.
I don't know, man. I think I'm doing the exact same thing as him in this situation. I'm not thinking straight. Like, but yeah, like the Joker's actually like lets a tear like slide down his face as he's watching this thing like sink away. He's like, "Oh, well, that's sad. Well, who's for Chinese?" I pity the Chinese restaurant that gets a visit from him. I put the Kung Pao and Kung Pao chicken. Yeah, so He's like, yeah, like this visual of Sid like on the inside of the coffin, like, like trying to like get himself free, and like, the acid is like, seeping through the lid. Like, okay, fittingly enough, because this is an episode on Christmas Eve. If you guys have seen the movie Scrooged with Bill Murray, it's like that scene of him like going in the coffin, going into the cremation oven. Like it still sits with me as like one of the most like visually uncomfortable scenes I've ever seen. Like, I don't know. Like it's both the fire and the like not being able to leave anywhere. That like, oh, I can't. We got to move to the next scene. Like it's, I'm looking too
So
deep into the
so
abyss.
next scene he's stuck in a coffin going into the fire.
I will find you. I know where you live. I know your postal address.
Hey, you know the general area of where I live. I can.
You're like the tallest man in Toronto. I will hunt you down. So yeah,
Well, probably not the tallest, but like probably like in the
you're in the
top
top three.
top
Like
top like 1%, I think. Yeah,
I hate you. And I love you.
think that
But
I can fucking tell than you,
yeah,
and I am.
you are. I never dispute that.
Just saying as a whole, yeah, because like I just remember he was like making a big deal. He's like, "Hey, I'm fucking tall and shit." So
Yeah.
like, when I saw him all that night, I was like, came and give me a hug. I was like, "Haha, I am taller." And Rich was like, "Holy fuck, he is."
I am the stumpest of chunkmans.
So I'm dead. Yeah. So I think I am probably like the tallest in the Discord. I'm going. I think because I don't think there's gonna be another like surprise tall person. It's almost like Kyle's like hiding in there, which I don't think so because I know
Watch
he's
one of our
taller
guys
than
be like Shaq or somebody. Like,
him. I'm Shaka, like Doctor DC.
what was I saying? Oh yeah,
They
so
talk,
he he
yeah. They teach me about comic books. I like them.
he likes
They,
Superman
they make fun of me about being Shazam, but I
or
like that
Steel.
movie. Or Steel, that's sorry. They make fun of me about being Steel, but Shaq is Steel.
So Sid the Squid is he's
This is my
banging on
bad
the
Shaq impression.
so Sid the Squid is pounding on the inside of the coffin, and then all of a sudden he breaks free when he realizes like he's not in the acid anymore. Like it's been flushed away. Um and he's like, "Oh, well, that was really lucky."
Yeah, and
And
since when do like vats that have like a drain that just drains out? Because isn't the idea to is to keep the acid there to like dissolve the shit and then just stays there
I'd
to
like to
dissolve
think
stuff?
OSHA would not like that idea. Like,
Like I'm fairly certain that's not how acid vats work, but like
yeah.
again, I like we don't live in Gotham, so like stuff must work differently there, I guess.
Like
Uh,
hazardous waste? Like what?
I'm fairly certain that. But anyway, yeah, he somehow like finds a grain against, and then what kind of fucking bad like drainage system that is like just for like draining that like a fucking full size coffin can like get through it.
That's a very good point. Yeah. Because that's why you have like filters. Like
Yeah,
stuff like that
yeah,
doesn't happen.
like I think it cuts back to like it cuts back to like the voiceover and goes back to Rupert's office. So he's like, I found myself on the shore and outside the out of the coffin and got away from there. So that I think that's where you say that. I think that's why, like mentioned before, that's where Rupert like starts yelling at him. He's like,
Yeah.
that is like, yeah, like you killed Batman and made a fool of the Joker, and you expect me to believe that? You probably did kill you probably did kill Batman.
He says the funniest line because he's like, "You did all this, and it didn't make you think of like, you've outsmarted the Joker, and like killed Batman." It's like no one's that lucky or that stupid. And he says, "Yes, I am honest." Like I love this writing.
Like, see, like I am that fucking stupid man. Like, come on.
Look at me.
You're literally listening to me talk. Like that's sometimes most of the time you let a person talk for a couple minutes, you can realize like roughly how smart or stupid they fucking are.
I wouldn't last 5 minutes in a kettle, let alone cell block five. Like, yeah, so he's like, because he came to Rupert looking for a way of like getting him out of Gotham, and so Rupert's like, "Oh, I'll get you out of Gotham in a pine wood box." He's like, "Well, then I should have just stayed in the coffin I came out of then." So he goes and pulls a gun, and that's when all of a sudden we hear like gunshots, not from the gun, but
Yeah,
outside,
yeah, yeah,
and
because as that happens, yeah, like Sid like closes his eyes, and that's when the gun goes off, and he's like, "What the?" Fuck? He like checks himself, and
I love
you
that.
know, and then you just yeah, you hear yeah, a bunch of thuds, and then like I think somebody got thrown through the door, or it
Mhm.
was a Batman that just came through. Yeah, then I find out like yeah, and then I think he like hits Rupert, and like then he sees at the door, and he's like, "Oh no!" And it's like Batman's at the door. So, and then we find out that like Batman actually didn't die.
What? Yeah, so he manages to, throw a couple like good punches at Rupert and knocks him out. And yeah, Sid's like, "You're alive?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't die in the explosion, but I wanted to see what happened." So, all
Yeah,
right,
I was able to like grapple away the last second, and
that was it.
as you thought I was dead, I thought I'd try to see who was because when he first saw me, he was like see it was extra pissed that there was a drug thing, so he was like wanting to know who was like at the top of the drug shipment or whatever. So he found it just so he was able to trail him to Rupert's place. Because I think in all that he was saying that he was like the head of the drug thing that he was a part of initially to be the lookout slash you know the scapegoat for Batman or the to slow Batman up at least or whatever sort of
Mhm.
thing.
So Sid had Batman's cape and cowl. So like obviously like he was Batman was like, slowly like, trailing Sid behind to figure out like what was going on. Where do you get the other cape and cowl? Does he just have like Batman costumes like stashed away in gargoyles like all over
Oh, well, yeah,
Gotham?
but,
Like,
well, so I think that's the same thing with Spider-Man has that sort of thing. So I imagine, like, he probably
yeah,
does have like a cache of stuff just in case. Especially this one, if it's because this Batman's bat costume seems to be just like cloth and stuff instead of being like some sort of armor. So I imagine he probably has, if he's having a bad night and he gets fucking cut to shit, like, an hour or two of his like, 8 hour, night shift to watch over bat. Yeah, he's not gonna go all the way to fuck to the Bat Cave and change and then go all the way back. I'm sure the Batmobile is probably not that great on gas mileage. I don't think being how fucking long
considering the afterburner, yeah, I'm gonna say
and
it's
how
like,
fucking long that thing. Yeah, so I imagine so I imagine he's fucking not doing that. So he could probably just probably has a few caches around the city
just
with
cleaning the
extra.
pigeon crap out of the bat suit.
I figure it's probably like more musty and like he's got to worry about like moth holes in it more than anything. I think than the pigeon crap because it's probably like in something or whatever. So.
Yeah. So yeah, Sid's like, well, I'm glad you're dead, and that means that, like I won't have to, go to jail.
I bet
Batman's like,
you're not dead. It's not dead. Not dead.
he's like, I might not be dead, but you're still going to jail. Like you were complicit in a crime. He's like, well, are you sure you want to do that? Like look at me, like like I'm gonna get sliced to bits. And he's like, well, I don't know, like a person of your reputation, I'm sure you could do fine in the right environment. So then we have a cut to what is presumed is Stonegate Prison, uh, of Sid the Squid going down the like
He's being led to his cell like down like
yeah
the main thing and everyone's cheering for him sort of thing.
yeah
Like
because they're
Sid the
like
Squid.
it's Sid the Squid, the guy who almost killed the Batman, and I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing here. There's just one problem. Every single villain in Arkham Asylum has almost killed Batman. That's the point. So I don't think he's gonna last that long. especially considering he pissed off the Joker and Rupert Thorne.
Oh no, I think that was a thing too. Like he said, like and they almost killed the Joker, Batman, and something with the Joker, and like pissed off the Joker or something like that. That
Yep.
was in there too. So so I think that was a thing just because he was able to do both sort of thing is why they're cheering for him, I guess. Because he's like, because he's a regular, because Stonegate's like the regular guy person instead of the super villain sort of thing. So if
I
he's
w-
able to give grief to both of them, you
yeah.
know, yeah, so he's okay on their list, I guess. I think it was it's what the idea for that was, sort of thing.
I would argue he's going to get a better rep as, look, it's Sid the Squid, the guy that the Joker tried to kill and failed at.
Yeah, so that might be part of the giving grief to the Joker. I think maybe
Yeah.
sort of thing maybe is that with the expanded story on that. So what would you give this out of five accidental keeping cowls?
I am going to give it, you know what, including the Joker eulogy, a solid 3.5 out of 5.
About three and a half.
Yeah, it's almost a 4. The only thing is, I feel like we should have had more reactions. Like, obviously, like you have to have the Joker's reaction, and Bullock's was kind of nice, but the idea of Batman being gone shouldn't just be through the eyes of Sid. I mean, yeah, it creates a nice narrative to have like, the confines of the story within. Um, but yeah, I feel like we really should have seen Gordon's reaction. We should have seen, like,
And not just Rupert and the Joker,
yeah,
or at least so yeah, like, at least when they're doing the announcement that Batman was killed or whatever, like maybe like get the reactions from like Catwoman and like Two Face maybe as well, or
exactly.
maybe. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I would
I was gonna say I was gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I think being like written, good episode, but written and directed by the duo, yeah, Paul Dini and other person that I can't think of the name of offhand. But and yeah, it was a good Joker episode, and like we got Rupert Thorne back for a bit, and got nice Canadian guy to be in the voice of the Sid the Squid. So I'm thinking I definitely give it a 4 out of 5. I think because I remember seeing this episode a few times in the initial watch when it was on the air. I definitely liked that. I liked the episode then, and I still like this. I really like this episode now. So definitely give it a 4 out of 5. All right, folks. That is the episode for this week. Thanks for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman, the animated series. Next week's episode will be Mudslide. Yeah, you can follow us. And yeah, I think that's is there only two Clayface episodes, or is there a third one?
two in this version of Batman the animated series, and then when the new adventure starts, there's at least one more.
Okay. So yeah, so join us next week for Mudslide, and then you can follow us on Twitter/X at Beyond Backcast, on Instagram at Beyond the Backcast, and we're on YouTube now. And check us out there at youtube.com/ is it either forward backslash, I think backslash at Beyond the Backcast. Check us out there, rate, review, subscribe on there or wherever you find your podcast or where you're listening now. It'll help us out. Where can we find you on the internet, Braden?
You can find me on Instagram at Alfred is Zaddy, and you
Ooh,
can also
Sadie.
find on Facebook, Beyond the Backcast, and please join our Discord. You can find it on our Instagram page, Beyond the Backcast, on their tree link, and we'd love to have you guys on there. We talk about all things Batman, the movies, the games, the show, of course, the Penguin series, and yeah, we'd love to share some Bat talk with you guys.
And so check us out there, and you can follow me on Instagram at StumpChuckman. And as I said, thanks for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman at the animated series. Goodbye, good chums. Kapow.